Time now for Fantasy Football Today for CBS Local. I'm Jamie Eisenberg. That's Dave Richard. That's Heath Cummings. We have the starts and sits that you need for week number 6 to help you win your fantasy leagues. Let's get right to it with the start of the week, and that is going to be Chiefs running back Darrel Williams. Love the setup for him, taking over for the injured Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, he's not going to be, at least I don't think, a top 10 fantasy running back, so you got to keep your expectations in check. But I think he could be a top 15 caliber player. He's going to get an opportunity to take over the workload for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and we've seen this from him before. In the playoffs last year, he got you 12 PPR points in each of the 2 starts that he made against the Browns and the Bills for the Chiefs without Edwards-Helaire there. Le'Veon Bell was there, but I don't think he's going to return. So I think you look at Darrel Williams as a guy who can plug and play, picking him off the waiver wire, and hopefully start with some success this week. Some other starts for me for week number 6 include Joe Burrow. As long as he's not talking, he's going to be throwing, should be fine. Gaskin and Gesicki for the Dolphins, taking on the Jaguars in London. Brandon Cooks and Hunter Henry like the setup for all of these players. Dave, let's take a look at your starts here. You got Ben Roethlisberger, Javonte Williams, Chase Claypool, Kadarius Toney, and Jacoby Myers. Tell me about Javonte Williams taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
I actually like Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, Jamie. I think both of them have a chance to do well. The Raiders have given up at least 1 touchdown to a running back every game this year. Over the last 2 weeks, they've allowed 135 rush yards to running backs. And Javonte has 3 catches in each of his last 3 games. I would start both these guys as low-end number 2 fantasy running backs.
I like that Williams has at least a 31-yard carry in each of the last 2 games as well. So those explosive plays are starting to show for the rookie from North Carolina. Heath, your starts for week number 6. Taylor Heinecke is on the list, and one of the better streaming options for this week.
Absolutely. Maybe a top 10 quarterback this week. He scored at least 23 fantasy points in 3 of his 4 starts this season. The Chiefs' last 4 games, they've allowed 31 fantasy points or more to a starting quarterback. This is a dream matchup for Heinecke.
So you like Devontae Booker. Dave, you do not like Devontae Booker. He's on your sit list. So he's taking over for Saquon Barkley, out with the ankle injury. Booker showed last week 2 touchdowns. He could be successful, but you don't like him this week against the Rams.
You better hope he scores 2 touchdowns against LA. This is a good run defense. Booker has 0 career 100-yard rush games, 3 in his entire career with 100 total yards, none since October of 2018. He didn't even average 1 yard before contact per rush last week. I am nervous that he's going to need at least a touchdown to get you 10 non-PPR fantasy points.
We've got 4 teams on a bye. In the state of the running back position, there are so many full-blown committees. He had 19 touches in that game last week against the Dallas Cowboys, a game where they were playing from behind and lost by 24 points. He is going to be a full-time running back, and I'm going to start him.
Okay, I would like him as a flex more so than the starter, so I'll just hold the line there and say if you need him, play him. Let's go to your sits. Heath, you got Ryan Tannehill as a sit this week. Tough matchup against Buffalo, but you also got Adam Thielen as a sit this week, and I think a lot of people look at this and say, am I really sitting Adam Thielen against the Panthers?
Yeah, I mean, really since the beginning of last year, he's been a touchdown-dependent flex. He does not do hardly anything in terms of yards. And what we've seen this year that's different is the Vikings are now incorporating both a number 3 wide receiver and a tight end into the passing game. Tyler Conklin, KJ Osborne combining for almost 30% of the target share. There's just not enough volume there for Thielen. If he scores a touchdown, he'll be fine. But if he doesn't, he's going to be absolutely awful.
Could be a tough game for Thielen. Could be a tough game for A.J. Brown as well. One of the sits for me this week. Julio Jones may return Monday night against the Bills, but I think you're looking at just a tough setup for A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones, all the Titans in their passing game, because the Bills' pass defense is absolutely amazing, and we know A.J. Brown's gone off to a slow start. So buy low. Better games are ahead. This is going to be a little bit of a rough go for A.J. Brown. Only 1 touchdown so far in the season. I think when he leaves week 6, he'll also have 1 touchdown on the season. There's your starts and sits for week number 6 for CBS Local from Fantasy Football Today. Make sure you check out Fantasy Football Today on CBS Sports HQ. We're live every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We help you dominate your fantasy league.